Hello everybody, my name's Michael Day. Welcome to the brand new Shot to Nothing YouTube channel, bringing you all the latest news from the world of Q Sports. Really appreciate your time on our maiden episode. Just first want to say if the picture quality, video quality is not great, I do apologise. Things will hopefully get better. This is a little bit new to me. But yeah, if you want to leave me any comments, anything, any ways you think we could make this better, then please let me know. But first episode, bring you latest news from the world of snooker. It's been a really busy time in the world of snooker on the professional scene. I think they've had 24 days consecutive action on the circuit. They've been to a number of events. They've been to Wales for the Welsh Open. They were over in Germany before that for the German Masters. They've had China Open qualifying. They've had the shootout. More recently at the weekend, they were in Gdynia, Poland for the last European Tour event of the season. In fact, it's the last European Tour event, full stop. That whole sort of PTC, Asian Tour, ET Tour era is being brought to a close. Next year they're having the new home series in all the home countries, and they're going to have a few competitions in Europe. They're going to have the big European Championship event in Romania in October, which is an exciting concept as well. But in terms of this era, it is being scaled down. But yeah, Gdynia at the weekend, really busy, really busy event. Possibly a bit obscure, not PTCs, ETs on everybody's cup of tea, but Gdynia, there was a lot riding on this event. Apart from the actual competition itself, there was 4 qualification events, as it were, sort of on the side of it as well, which we'll go through in a minute. But yeah, really big event, won by Mark Selby, world number 1, his first win of the year. In fact, it was his first final, which for somebody of his class, and he enters pretty much everything. That's quite incredible to think of his first year. He has been consistent, to be fair. He's reached a few semis. He reached the semis in UK. I think he reached the semis in China for the international championship as well. So he's always there or thereabouts. But it was actually his first final. There has been a little bit of pressure on Mark Selby because he is world number 1, but come the World Championship in April, he will be defending the points that he earned 2 years ago when he won it. So he's going to have a huge chunk of those points taken away. So he really needs to be picking up the points, if he's going to sustain a possibility of keeping that world number 1 spot. So it was a big event for him at the weekend. Played really well. I mean, he had a really tough route through, and that's probably not been talked about that much. I mean, first round he beat an amateur, Joe Roberts. I remember watching that on Eurosport, and somebody went 3-0 up. You think, yeah, he's going to coast through, but Roberts played really well after that. He really sort of held himself together, made 3-1, 3-2, and all reality, he should have made it 3-0. He missed a red, the last red with the colours all on their spots. And at 3-0, anything could have happened. Could have got a bit twitchy for both players. He then beat John Higgins, and that actually meant John Higgins doesn't qualify for the Players' Championships. That's quite a big name not to be there, considering Higgins is top of the World Grand Prix rankings, which we'll talk about in a second as well. So he beat John Higgins. Then he beat Luca Brasel, all on the Friday. Selby was 3-0 down to Brasel, and he's come back to win 4 in a row. And I think one was on the black or on the pink, real sort of close towards the end. So Selby had a real tough route just to get through to finals day on Sunday. Then comes Sunday morning, Sam Baird, first game up in the last 16. Sam had come off a really good win against Michael White on the Friday as well, on the TV table, and Sam was 3-1 up. Sam had a century in the opening frame, and somehow Selby does what he does best. He came back to win 4-3. Then he beat Marco Fu, the last winner of the previous Eurotour event in Gibraltar. So he ended his sort of 10-match winning streak. Andrew Higginson beat him in the semis. Fantastic run. He had a fantastic run. Andrew Higginson very nearly got himself into the World Grand Prix out of nowhere. Beat him, and then in the final he beat Martin Gould, another informed player. Recent German Masters winner. Martin Gould seems to have found a new level. He's playing with a complete different confidence now. He's playing really well, and Mark lost the first frame of that, and then won 4 in a row to win the tournament. €25,000. It's his 7th sort of PTC European Tour, that whole sort of genre of events. That's his 7th, and that's 2 more than anybody else. So it's probably quite fitting that the very last um, event in that series, that era, has gone to Mark Selby, somebody who's really embraced the concept and pretty much enters everything that he can. So, that was, probably just in many ways. But yeah, so that's really going to help Mark's ranking position. Somebody said on social media, on Twitter, I think it was, they did suggest that Mark Selby, world number 1, Stuart Bingham, world number 2, before this weekend, neither one of them reached the final between them. So there is a debate whether or not this money ranking list is really, cut out for what it's supposed to be. Obviously, Selby and Bingham are the last 2 world champions, so the world championship winner gets, a big heavy check. It's really heavily weighted for the world championship winner. Perhaps that's something they do need to look at, because I think the closest ranking event is the UK Championship, and that's half of what the winner gets in the world. So you could win sort of 3-4 ranking events and not be on the same money as the World Championship winner. Of course, the World Championship winner should get a big fat check and should be the richest prize in sport. But perhaps it's something they need to look at, because it's it is a point that top 2 players in the world this year, neither one of them had got to a final, and we know what a slump Bingham's currently in at the minute. I don't want to rub it in, but he is. So perhaps that's something they might need to look at in the future. Other mentions in the event, like I say, Martin Gould, another fantastic performance way through. I mean, again, he was not in contention for the Players' Championship finals. He was obviously firmly qualified for the World Grand Prix because of his German Masters victory, and obviously he was runner-up in Australia from that. But Players' Championship qualifications obviously all on the 6 Euro Tour events, and there is a combined list for the one in Asia that Ding Junhui beat Ricky Walden in the final before the IC event. But yeah, Gould from absolutely nowhere. I guess he probably achieved his mission of the weekend, getting to the Players' Championship finals in Manchester. He had to get to the final, and that's what he done. So fair play to Martin Gould there. The Players' Championship final, obviously we know it's really big, £100,000 to the winner. That's going to be played at in Manchester in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, really, really big event to be in. Just going back onto the Players' Championship finals, there's quite a lot of big names not going to be there. So like I mentioned before, touched on a minute ago, Stuart Bingham lost first round 4-3 to Fraser Patrick on the Saturday, so dumped out first round. I think he only needed a win to make sure of his place in the Players' Championships finals, and he didn't do it. So that's an event without the world champion. Reigning champion, PTC Grand Final champion Joe Perry, he's not going to be there. He's been nowhere on the list this year, and he was beaten by Barry Hawkins in the last 32, I think it was. Sorry. Yeah, so the defending champion's not going to be there. Barry Hawkins coincidentally finished top of the rankings. He won the first event of the year in Riga, and he's been really consistent this year, so he'll be number 1 seed for that. But I say John Higgins, he's not going to be there. That's probably one of these things about the various ranking lists, that Higgins is top of the World Grand Prix ranking list. He's won 2 events this year, been consistent in others, and he's not in the top 32 for the Players' Championship. So, there is a big difference between the 2 events. There's obviously players that match over and have qualified for both. There's quite a few, but there's some notable absences. I mean, obviously in the Players' Championship, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Neil Robertson not going to be there. That's not through not qualifying through poor results, that's through choice. Ronnie didn't enter any events, which is not really a surprise. Neil Robertson, he did actually enter the Gibraltar event, but he pulled out of it. I mean, the Gibraltar event was pretty much straight after his UK Championship win in York. So, but again, that's a little bit surprising that Robertson perhaps didn't, play in the PTCs this year. That's for such a big prize, and it's a UK-based, finals event, 100 grand to the winner. But Robertson has talked about how he sort of prepares himself for the big competitions, and he hasn't done too badly this year, so maybe his decisions are justified. But yeah, we've got some really big names in there, like we say. I mean, Judd Trump's going to be there. Uh, Sean Murphy, Ding Junhui's going to be there. Ding Junhui uh, qualified, like I say, he won the only Asian Tour event back in October. That was before the International Championship. So him and Walden qualified through that way. I'm not sure they wouldn't have qualified through the European list because they've been way down there. So that event has seen them through. Just going back again to the Gdynia at the weekend, Kyron Wilson, he's another player who had to get a few wins under his belt. He got to the semi-finals and he's qualified for the Players Championship well, and he's obviously in the World Grand Prix because he won the Shanghai. Ryan Corsten, a great amateur player, he had a fantastic run to the last 16. So he actually, not only did he get through all the amateur qualifying round, he started on the Tuesday out there because the competition started 3 days before the professional rounds. So he actually won 6 matches in total to get the last 16. He consolidated his place on the EBSA top 16 list. So the EBSA is European Billiards and Snooker Association. It's an amateur list for the top 16 amateurs on the ranking list of the European Order of Merit, the top 16, and they'll play at the same venue where the World Championship qualifiers are being played in April. And it's 3 matches get through. They've got 2 tickets out of the 16, so 2 will go through and get a professional tour card at the end of it. So he consolidated that, but he was very nearly, with this great run he had, he very nearly got into the top 8 of the Order of Merit for players outside the top 64. I mean, that would have been a huge, that would have been a huge outcome for him. He was within 1 game in his last 16 match against Ben Williston. If he won that, he would have snuck into the top 8, which would have been remarkable because he was in nobody's sort of permutations at the start of the week. But yeah, unfortunately for him, he lost 4-0 to Ben Williston. But he does the consolation. He beat Ryan Day on the TV. I mean, he was 3-2 down today and needed a snooker, and he won that. So that probably set him really well for the future. And like I say, he's in the playoffs as well. What's next then? So yeah, going back to the permutations. I mean, I said about the 4 different qualifying events. We had the EBSA playoff list, Players Championship, World Grand Prix, and places to stay on the tour. What can be more important than that? Professional places. Obviously, at the end of the year, top 64 on the ranking list. They're all safe. That's fine. Then, like I say, you've got the top 8 players from the European Order ranking list, money list, whatever you call it, who are outside the top 64. They get given a fresh 2-year tour card. Now, all the points they've gained over the last couple of years, they are scratched and they will start on 0, but it is a 2-year guaranteed tour card for the top 8. There's quite a few sort of high-profile names who have been hovering about this number 64 mark. Probably one of the biggest ones people have mentioned last few weeks, Anthony Hamilton. He's sitting outside the top 64 at the minute. A real stalwart of the tour, fantastic player. Like I say, 2-time ranking event finalist. I saw him in Plymouth when he lost to Fergal O'Brien in the final of the British Open. First couple of frames he went in with back-to-back centuries. Probably one of the best players not to win a ranking event. He's in that sort of category, that sort of band. He is in real danger of falling off the tour, being relegated. And it's amazing because the last month or so, he's sort of really been in the spotlight through different events. He's been playing really, really well. All those best of 3, beat Mark Williams in the World Seniors. He had that fantastic match with Kyron Wilson where there was six centuries in China Open qualifiers. And Anthony Hamilton's playing well again. He beat Bingham at the Welsh Open as well. He won a couple of rounds at the Welsh Open, and here he got through a few rounds to the last 32, and he has actually snuck himself into 8th. But there's so many permutations between now and the end of the year. It's crazy that it's very possible that will not keep him on tour, unless obviously he does get back into top 64. But the only event he's left in is World Championship qualifying now, so we need a really big push. And like I say, if he can give himself as many chances as he can to stay on the tour, that'd be great, because it would really be a big miss if Anthony Hamilton went, because he's such a natural talent, really. But like I say, I mean, really, so many permutations. We don't really know all of them at the minute, because there's still three more. There's four more ranking events to go technically. But as you probably know on Twitter, Pro Snooker blog, Matt Huat, he's got it all covered. He's absolute legend, keeping everybody updated, and he's got his finger on the pulse for everything. So if you've got a question, just ask him, because I'm sure he knows. So what's next for the World Snooker Circuit? As I'm recording this, we've got the Championship League Snooker. The winners group is about to kick off. That's something that I'll probably do a quick video for on Friday, when we know the winners group. But Group 7's just been played out last night. Matt Sout is the last player through. He beat Liang Wenbo in the final, was 2-0 down, came back to win 3-2. Stuart Bingham, again, he was defending champion of that too. He didn't get into the playoffs. He finished 5th. He did win his last 2 games on Tuesday to give himself a chance, but he lost out by 1 frame on qualification of Kyron Wilson. Like I say, Matt Sout came back from 2-0 down to beat Liang Wenbo in the final. So, and that was the only group he played in. He was one of the newbies in Group 7. So congratulations, Matt Sout. 2nd year in a row he's got to the winners group. He got to the main semi-finals last year. So maybe it's an event Matt really likes. So the winners group today is really tasty group. It's really looking good. You've got Ronnie O'Sullivan, you've got Judd Trump, Mark Williams, Mark Selby, Stephen Maguire, Ali Carter, and Matt Sout. So I think that's a really entertaining lineup. I think that's and again, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Quite a lot of people on social media are quite derogatory about it, but at the end of the day, it's snooker. And any snooker on the box or on the laptop, whatever, streaming can only be good. There's a few things wrong with it, obviously, but a few things you would change. But I think it's fantastic. And the winner is going to get a Champions of Champions spot. So with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Neil Robertson, about the way they're playing, there might not be too many spots available, because they might mop up a lot of the tournament. So this Champions of Champions spot is a great opportunity for some of the players. I mean, Championship League Snooker was initially brought in as a Premier League prefix. The winner got a Premier League spot. I think Judd Trump won a Championship League before he was sort of mainstream, and he got into the Premier League, so that might have helped him for the future. But so I'll probably do a video next couple of days when I know the result of the winners group. But in terms of sort of major events, obviously, they've actually got the weekend off this weekend, so it's the first weekend off in about 4 or 5 months. So they'll probably enjoy that, and then they're going to be in Llandudno, North Wales, for the World Grand Prix. It's going to be on ITV4, I think, all week. I believe it's a 2-table setup again. I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, a big event, 100 grand to the winner. This year it's actually ranked. Last year when Judd won it, it was the same concept about top 32, but last year it was not ranked, sorry. This year it is, so another good opportunity for someone like Ronnie, who doesn't enter too many events. He can boost his ranking again, but 100 grand to the winner. John Higgins, like I said, he's the #1 seed. He's won 2 events this year. He won the Aussie Open at the start of the season, start of the campaign, and then he won the International Championship, and he's been consistent in other tournaments as well. So he's been reaching quarterfinals here and there. So he's really his #1 seed, and he's playing good friend, World Cup teammate Stephen Maguire, who is #32 seed, who snuck in and was probably didn't have any fingernails left. He was waiting on Andrew Higginson to lose in the semi-finals in Gdynia, and he duly did. So Stephen Maguire is managed to scrape in there, but he's got to play Sean Higgins first round, so that's a tough match as well. Like we say, Ronnie O'Sullivan's in it. He's got Michael Holt. Ronnie is only in this event because he won the Welsh Open. I mean, it's the only he's only entered 2 ranking events this season so far. That was the only way he could qualify for the World Grand Prix, was winning it. He won it. He's got in quite comfortably as it is on the money list, and he's got Michael Holt first round. Defending champions Judd Trump, he beat Ronnie in last year's event, so he'll be trying to defend the crown, which I think he's done as it a major tournament. He's not defended a major tournament trophy in his career yet. So that could be a coup if he manages it. But again, he's got Mark Williams first rounds, and the World Grand Prix really is the top 32 in the world at this minute over this season. It's a really good it's a really good sort of barometer, as it were, who's been playing well, and that goes back again to my sort of world rankings thing. Perhaps maybe they need to look at the world rankings and the way the money's dished out. Perhaps maybe, I don't know, but maybe that's for another time. But just going back, last thing about the ETs, European tours. That's the end of that era. They are still going to have tournaments on the continent. I know that Riga's going to be its own tournament. Gibraltar's going to be its own tournament. I think something else is as well. But they're not actually going to be part of the series. I think they're going to have the qualifiers, first couple of rounds in this country, and then I think 32 are going to go abroad and then play. So it probably it won't be a multi-table setup. Those days will be gone. And perhaps for the lower ranked players, that'd be really good, because a lot of them are travelling abroad, spending money on flights and accommodation, entry fees, everything like that. If you go over there and you lose first round, you've invested quite a lot of money and quite a lot of time into making a loss really, sorry. So at least a home-based event where 95% of the players are, they can jump in their car, they can go to the venue. If they win a couple of rounds, they're in the money, and their ticket is paid for in these events. But yeah, the European Tour PTCs, obviously brought in under the Hearn era. I think they've achieved almost all their goals. I thought they're really good. Again, snooker on the box is fantastic, really. I mean, they've changed them quite a lot since they started back in sort of 2010, 2011. I think really initially they were mainly brought in just as like a stopgap whilst they got sponsors for the big events, and they had a sort of concise sort of calendar of big events. So they've served the purpose. It will be a shame to see it go, but that's the way we are at the minute. Like I say, we've got the European Championship in Romania, so that'll be really, really interesting to see a big ranking event back on the continent again. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope the quality was good. I didn't waffle on too much. Hopefully I'll be able, there'll be new videos each day, or at least a couple of days. The next one's going to be about the Championship League Snooker. Like I say, this is all Q Sports, so I will be bringing you information on pool and billiards and English pool and other events as well when they come along. But like I say, the next one's probably going to be about the Championship Winners Group, which is going to be played over the next couple of days, and that'll be probably on Friday. Like I say, subscribe to the channel, please. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. And take a look at my website. The website is www.theqview.com. That's got all the latest sort of articles. We cover all aspects of snooker. We cover professional, amateur, youth, women's, disability, and like I say, all Q Sports as well. So give us a look on the website there, and we're also on Facebook. Facebook is the Q View. So I'd really appreciate it if you gave us a like. But again, thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you soon.